Alright, chat. This was a build-around submission here for the Consuming Blob. 5 mana Tarmogoyf-esque card that notably only counts the card types in your graveyard. So when we had deck building for this deck, we had to kind of take that into consideration here. That's why we've got enchantment creatures and artifact creatures. We've got some instants and sorceries that up in the bin. We've got some planeswalkers. Meathook can be an enchantment. And then Settle the Wilds here is a card that encourages us to have some kind of diverse, more expensive cards in our deck since it seeks a permanent that's equal to the number of lands we control. It's why we have a cheeky copy of Cultivator Colossus in our deck, because if we had 7 when we do this, we can fish this up, which is really nice. So let's go ahead and pop on into some games of Magic with this and see how it goes. If anybody's wondering about the 61st card in my deck, you're not my real dad. You can't tell me how to build my deck. I'm not listening to you. Yeah, the Mamoswine Pikachu highlights on the Pokemon Unites highlight channel today are phenomenal. Matthew and I hit the first game especially might be the most absurd early path I have ever played in a match of Unite. Matthew and I were very rude. I'm just chilling on this. Off a couple of lands here. Go ahead and kill this to deny them the ability to draw a card with the rune. The Kami's gonna get to come back to their hand at end of turn, but I'm pretty okay with that exchange. Super unfortunate that, oh wait. Beginning of your instant chance put your graveyard from the battlefield. Oh, it went to the graveyard from the stack, so it doesn't come back. Sick. End pack. Thank you for the over 3 years. Welcome back. Unfortunately, our deck with 34 mana sources in it kept 3 lands and then missed its 4th land on turn 4. Because Magic is a high skill, low variance game. Sometimes it do be like that, chip. You see, no truck showed up to the trucker protest in DC. What? Are you telling me that entire operation was astroturfed? Because I, for one, am shocked. This is my tippity-tapped land ship. Culling Ritual will be very good in this matchup, too. What does astroturf mean? Astroturfing in the context of politics is when people with lots of money and influence use their money and influence to generate what appears to be grassroots movements, in a fake manner. Although we're going to be able to keep up with Hallowed Haunting here, though, is the problem. If we draw a Doomblade, we might have a shot here. I probably need some disenchants in my sideboard, huh? Actually, don't have a way to interface with Hallowed Haunting currently. Yeah, the Naiad Excuse. We have Culling Ritual and like spot removal spells. So like I've got ways to like clean up some of their board. I don't have a way specifically to deal with this card. Sure, we do have a singleton Boseiju. Accurate. I think Meathook Massacre is actually kind of mediocre in this matchup. A lot of their stuff we want to get rid of gets pretty big pretty fast. As much as Blade of the Oni is nice for typings, I don't think I want it in this matchup. Brina Scary, thank you for the 1.5 years. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Ferpsy, thanks for the 32 months. I only had 1 day with Unite as the second thing, but it seemed like I picked up a lot more new Unite followers in the afternoon as opposed to the morning, so we'll see if that happens again today. But really 1 or 2 days is tough. I'll take a look at it as a whole on like the end of the week. So the problem with Duress is that while you're right, they have a couple of high impact cards that they can play out. This is a matchup that's going to come down to top decks and playing to the board, and Duress doesn't do well against either of those things. It doesn't play to the board and it doesn't stop their top decks. Yeah, they see too many cards for Duress to likely be impactful. Nice, Merely. Yeah, I think a lot of the vehicles decks are really fun in this format. Okay, if we could draw an untapped land next turn, we get to Wrenn and Seven. that's better. That's better than missing, I guess, but still frustrating to not just be able to play Wrenn and Seven this turn. Honestly, the fact that I had to spend 3 mana to hit my 4th land drop probably means we're just going to be too far behind in tempo to be competitive here. Is this kind of slow from them? I think we just Wrenn and Seven here.
We prefer not to fight. The will of the woods is made manifest.
Yeah, you can find gameplay of the Rune deck on my YouTube channel. There are both alchemy and historic playlists on the front page there. The big difference between alchemy and standard right now in terms of play patterns merely is that alchemy is a more mid-range / aggressive format, and standard you're going to play against a lot of control decks. Rather than asking me to sit here and repeat things to you, you could just go watch on the YouTube channel. I'd encourage you to just go check out the YouTube video where I give thoughts on the deck after playing it. Are they going to throw away their Runeforge champion for my Wrenn? They are. Yeah, this is a strange inclusion of the archetype for sure.
Even in defeat, we grow.
Yeah, control drives me nuts too. I think Magic's a miserable game when control decks are popular. Magic is a much better game when it's about playing to the board. Yeah, the Anvil deck is sweet. Like Lair not being able to activate for 0 is a concession to the digital interface? No, because the digital interface still stops and gives me priority, even though I technically can't deactivate this card. So, I don't know. I don't know what it's a concession to, but it's a concession to being annoying, to say the least. Hey, nice, Mire. Neo Kamigawa, I think, is probably one of the best Magic sets in the last, gosh, probably in the last 4 or 5 years. They really knocked it out of the park. Which is a good thing, because the original Kamigawa set was considered largely unsuccessful, so it's nice to see them get rewarded for going back and revisiting planes that they previously hadn't been a fan of. Was that a relevant combat trick? Well, to be fair, it's like a playable hate card that's a combat trick when it's not being a hate card, right? is, you know, I haven't heard it phrased that way before, Zowsy, but I think that's, or Andrew, sorry, I was typing Zowsy to give them their sword back. I think that's an excellent way to put why Kamigawa is such a good set. It's the first set in a long time where it really felt like we had new things, not just better things. I love that. Whoa. So hold on. Speaking of things that I love, hold please. So this is gonna kill 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means I'll have 11 mana? Holy crap. Yeah, I'm gonna crew first for sure.
New job, new life, new opportunities. Come on, there's gotta be something useful. Ugh.
Solid turn. Yes, yeah, and then the Chariot can start copying the blobs as well. Is accurate. Kilmadetter, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel this morning. Great, their board's getting pretty big here, though. I guess we can down-tick Onyx to... We can down-tick Onyx to deal with this, and then that lets us attack profitably here. Yeah, that Sweet Smearl, kind of like high-powered, kind of like high-powered limited in a way. Okay, so I think we down-tick the Professor.
Sorry, you don't make grade.
And then we can crew this. And we can attack with both of these, copy this. The showdown of the Scald's next turn is potentially a bit scary. I'm really hoping the Alchemy card drop later this month gives us, like, some extra ninjas to play with in Alchemy on Arena. Push those archetypes that just aren't quite there yet. Okay, and then we just go ahead mauling one of these. Oh gosh, and her Magecraft triggers. That's great. Sweet. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Just run it back. Run it back now, y'all. Honestly, with the enchantment deck and the anvil deck running around, this could just be a 4 Culling Ritual format. Maybe we even want some of those in the main deck. Turns out a pretty good sweeper that makes 9 mana is decent. Yep. Yep. Yeah, honestly, we should probably just, like, put a couple of Boseijus in the sideboard. I think we're keeping this. It's not great, though. Hopefully they're on all non-basic, so we can Hagra Mauling on 3. Nah, I don't think Feed the Swarm is playable in your green deck. Just play other good cards. Oh, they have a basic land. The audacity, chat. Drawing a basic land in your 3-color deck. Never lucky. Yeah, our hand's just not very good here. I really didn't want to mulligan to 5. Yeah, a lot of these decks don't play many basic lands because they gotta fit their 3 colors in. You put like a couple in case you get what's it called? Yes, the old post-combat make my creatures too larger. I guess they were maybe worried about a piece to instant speed removal, like they don't know that I have nothing. This Lair of the Hydra keeps giving us priority. It's a good draw. Means with the Chariot here, we can actually get some board presence going. Believe it or not, doing nothing for 3 turns was not good against the aggro deck. Let's shuffle some stuff here. I think I want 4 Culling Rituals in my 75. $76, however many cards we're playing. I'm gonna split my sweepers to 2 main. 2 culling, 2 Meathook. I want some ways to interact with the enchantments on the board. Maybe I just play more Culling Rituals, babe. And just accept that we're gonna board them out in the matches where they're bad. Because they're pretty good into a variety of matchups. What's the next best way to kill enchantments after Boseiju? Oh, that Crushing Canopy? Yeah, that's probably a decent one. Like that. Outland Liberator could be okay. We don't have that many creatures at the bottom end of our curve to get into our bin. Yeah, I like the idea of Outland a lot. So it's a card we can just like board it against control decks too for the sake of pressure. Chat, stop suggesting cards like Feed the Swarm for my deck that has green cards. Feed the Swarm is not a good card. It's a card that just like can see play if your colors don't have other answers to enchantments. It's not something you really want to be registering though. Yeah, Liberator is a good suggestion. I like that idea a lot. My body is ready to never draw a second green source and die. However, if we draw a second green here, we're gonna be in a pretty good spot. I'll take second layer over missing. It's another matchup where Culling Ritual is probably not bad, huh? Anybody who's been playing Pokemon Unite daily will have Hoop already, Dave. You only had to complete the baking missions 5 days, and I think it's been up for 6 or 7 days now. And they gave people 1 day's worth of donuts as compensation to you, so you only had to do 4 if you've been playing. I'm just chilling. I don't really want to fire up my A-Esika's Chariot into a removal spell. Dockside Chef, gonna go ahead and eat this. Probably this one. Oh, we're so bad at hitting land drops, chat. I guess these are technically lands that Wrenn doesn't hit. Still feels pretty bad, man. have Ray of Oblivion chilling in their graveyard. No joke, and it feels kind of weird to say. I think this card might be one that they should have consideration for having a power level adjustment to it. This effect is so good. For what it's worth, chat, I really dislike the Jeff, well, how do you adjust it questions when I talk about a card standing to be rebalanced, because the answer is there's always lots of ways they could rebalance something. They should just pick one. So it's not my job to fix the Magic cards. The beauty of digital is that there's always lots of different ways to make something better or worse. It's not just a binary legal or not legal, right? Hey, here's a 54 more indeed. I hope to be here in another 54 months, Orkadar. Welcome back. I mean, it's not even, like, my comment is kind of to imply the opposite of that. I'm not saying you're implying there's only one way to change it. I'm mostly saying that there's so many ways they could change it that it's kind of pointless to talk about it.
Hope you're ready to move. Remember your training.
Because there's, like, a million different knobs they could twist. Just, like, pick one and twist it. Yeah, like, someone talked about how Hive could eat these, but I'm just too far behind on board for that to be relevant right now, right? Yeah, City Stalker Wanderer is really strong for sure. Giving first strike on the combat trick is great. Hey, thanks for the Prime Unreal me. Welcome back. So, spot removal is actually quite mediocre here. We're just like getting rid of most of it. Go blank is good because it clears their graveyard. It might just be a couple of Outland Liberators for miscellaneous enchantment removal, huh? Trivoli, thanks for the 14 months. I mean, even just like capitalistic propaganda aside, there's just like, there's so many things they can do with these cards. Like, just pick one. I'd be happy with a lot of them. And our variance has been unreal in these first couple of matches. We just, like, actually haven't had almost any keepable 6s or 7s. Am I allowed to play the game Magic Arena? Maybe. Hey, this is a keepable 5, I guess. Magic Arena choking there, chat. Really having a hard time on my 2080 Super Herb. Horizon Forbidden West runs better on my PS5 than Magic Arena does on my gaming computer that costs, you know, $2,000 to build. It'd be impressive if it wasn't sad.
Those who harm the forest hold the trees. They prepare for war.
I think we leave the 2/2 untapped here because if I leave both 6/6s up, I'd have to potentially trade one with the Fellstinger, whereas I'd much rather trade a 6/6 with the Fellstinger, or the 2/2 with the Fellstinger.
Even in defeat, we grow.
Darkness will swallow. Subservience will be rewarded.
Wedding party popping off here means that I can't Meathook this board anymore. Yeah. Definitely feels like we just got outclassed here. I mean, honestly, even if I could Meathook there, the Lulth in play means that the Lulth is going up to what, 7 or 8 counters there or whatever, so I'm still just like infinitely behind. I'm not sure how any deck like ours that's trying to generate value by having permanence in play is ever supposed to beat the Vanishing Verse Rite of Oblivion deck. It just seems impossible, right? It's like none of our cards that are supposed to generate value ever actually do. I'm tired of mulliganing. I'm keeping the lands and spell 7. Yeah, I usually give content creators a lot more slack than I give just like random eggs on Twitter, but after a lot of his takes surrounding alchemy stuff, I finally had to tap the block button on Saffron Olive. I just can't have his stuff in my feed anymore. Marv, thank you for the third of a year. Welcome back. You'll never mulligan to 5, lose because you mulligan to 5, always keep 7. That's just the truth right there. Hey, thanks for the 13 months, Sightseer. Welcome back. Saffron is one of the people in the community that likes to talk about the act of nerfing a card digitally is the same as soft banning it, which we just have mountains of examples from even just the couple of months Alchemy has existed that shows that that's just patently not true. It wasn't true even before we had those examples, but now, in addition to everything else we know, we also have a giant pile of examples. He says as he crews his A-Esika's chariot. Well, for people in chat, let's just not talk about Seth. I don't, regardless of my feelings on his takes, I don't want this chat to devolve into bagging on another content creator regardless of who they are or what their takes are. So, just move on from the topic. My advice to you all would just be that if you read something from someone on social media and the thing you are reading from them makes you feel frustrated or sad or mad, instead of engaging with that thing, just block them and move on with your day. Life is short and social media is incredibly toxic. Don't give it your time and don't let it be a source of negativity for you. Our consuming blobs ain't looking so hot, Chip.
Don't worry. I think and some think time only flows in one direction.
It's garbage time? Nah, not quite yet. This isn't, it's important to remember this isn't Teferi Hero of Dominaria. This card doesn't generate card advantage every single turn. It's like a little annoying, but it can't just draw them 2 cards a turn. Fire and Fury, thank you for the 31 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You know, Zimic, I actually think one of the biggest fundamental problems with Magic Arena from an economy and game design perspective is that I don't have a good answer to your question. What's a good way to get a new player into Magic Arena? There isn't a good new player on-ramp in this application. There's no really good way to free to play, and there's no place to just like play the game casually until you do. Yeah, like, and that's, yeah, it's even more true for Historic than it is for any others, I agree. To people who are now talking about economy overhauls, that's not coming. Well, so I'm not telling you, so the tutorial is fine, chat. So what I'm talking about isn't saying Magic Arena doesn't teach you how to play. the tutorial in Magic Arena is fine, and it teaches you how to play the game. But like, once you understand the rules of playing Magic, what are you supposed to do on Magic Arena without spending a bunch of money? There isn't really anything, right? Like, what's the game mode people... Limited's not the answer. Limited is very expensive if you are not good at the game. Alright, I think we're garbage time here.
Protect the people.
Yeah, I mean, if your friend's willing to spend money, my advice would be have them watch some content and find a deck that looks like something they like playing, and then have them build that and go from there, and then just like play that deck to earn other things. But there isn't really a good way to like earn cards to start without first saying, okay, you need to open up your credit card here. There isn't a new player queue or a single player experience or something like that, right? No, they don't mean bean. Alright, let's bring in some discard spells here and cut all our removal and sweepers. We'll leave in some Bloodchief's Thirst because they have Planeswalkers, obviously. Oh, Downfall. I forgot to bring in my Downfalls. You're right. The Downfalls are just better than Thirst here. In my head, that was Murder. You're right. It's Hero's Downfall. Yeah, I mean, you could technically play bad decks in Bronze, but like, okay, let's say you start and you build a bad deck in Bronze. What's the path from building a bad deck in Bronze to actually converting that into something meaningful? What's the free-to-play path from nothing even look like in Arena? Assume you're a new player who can't win a bunch at Limited. What's the new player path look like? There just isn't one, right? Grim, yeah. Magic Arena as an application is one that's designed to cater to heavily enfranchised players. It has a hard time picking up new people, or people that aren't interested in spending money. So drafting costs money, but if you're good at drafting, you win more than you lose there, and you go infinite. But a person brand new to Magic isn't going to be able to do that, is the point. I think we just Professor Onyx here and start drawing cards.
Sorry, haven't heard that name before.
Just taking a 6/5 here.
I have impeccable study habits. Well, guess you don't need my help.
On time. I've got some time tinkering to do.
What I do to expand the player base? It's not my job. It's not my problem to figure out. I have no idea. Good luck to whoever job that is to figure it out. Alright, so we'll seek here and grab a 7-drop. We have 2 of those. The Runes deck is fairly friendly on wild cards. How many rare lands are in the Runes deck mana base? It's north of 20, right?
spoil
My new player path was uninstalling Arena and subscribing here. Oh man, that's the big brain play. Holy gosh, that worked! I didn't think that was gonna work, Chip. Alright, maybe they're just gonna die to these creature lands. Maybe we're just gonna die to these creature lands. Channel is an instant.
We'll have all. Don't worry. It's only a little mischief.
This is only 4, 5, 6 mana. So I'm gonna get to attack with this Hive and exile their Memory Deluge. Okay, now I get to open on Go Blank and exile their Memory Deluge. This is probably eating a counterspell. Yeah, apparently the new Pokemon TCG client that's coming out later this year is purchase free in client, which I assume means that the only way you'll be able to directly spend money on it is through physical pack codes. Which is an interesting way to approach the digital economy. Is what usually have some single target removal spells every set? Not really. That's kind of been something they've expanded into, Rufio. The blob is here. Yeah, black's usually the spot removal spell. Traditionally speaking, Rojo, people also just sell the Pokemon packs or Pokemon pack codes directly.
I've got some time tinkering.
How do I ever beat Hullbreaker Horror Chat? It's actually just top right? Alright. We're gonna rate this deck off as a failure. We We hit 3 different matchups. We hit aggro, mid-range, and control, and we just kind of got beat in not close matches in all 3 of them. Unfortunately, chat, Consuming Blob does not seem to be a particularly playable Magic the Gathering card. It's got a lot of words and it's a mythic, but it's just not good enough to keep up with the other powerful things people are doing in Magic formats these days. This is not a card that's good enough in a post-Fire Design world. The only feedback I have for working on this deck at the end is doing that.